The Golf Biz with Mikey D, Drew, and the crew. Management, marketing, myths, and morons. Hope we make you smile.
Welcome to the Golf Biz. I'm Joe Dahlstrom with Mikey D, Drew, and the crew, where our one and only goal is to make you smile as we share our story of owning, operating, and marketing golf courses all over America. Welcome, Drew. Welcome, Mikey.
What up,
What's going
everybody?
on, Joe?
Another beautiful day.
We've got another amazing guest joining us today. Hailey, thank you so much for being here with us. And, we had a great time today. Hailey and Bryce came out to the ranch for the first time, I know, for Bryce. And had you been here before?
I had been here long
time ago.
Yeah.
So first time seeing the fresh new take on Dobson, and
Yep.
You guys had an awesome match with some of Arizona's great juniors, and we'll get into that some more later. But we usually start these off. Hailey, why don't you just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, golf, how your life kind of came to be where you are now. How you got your start, who got you into golf, and your road here.
Yeah, so my dad got me into golf like many other young female golfers. He taught me how to putt first, and then I started playing in tournaments when I was 9, and he kind of took over the junior program in my hometown, and I just kept at it ever since. After that, I went to George Fox University in Newberg, Oregon,
Cool.
Then small D3 school, and I'm very proud to be a D3 athlete. There's a lot of great D3 athletics out there. You just have to really look for them.
Yeah.
And then I moved down to Scottsdale to pursue a professional golf career after college. And now I'm found my life in social media.
Yeah, and
cool.
And that's something too. We've touched on it and been talking about it obviously today. But you're doing some amazing things, and you've built a very strong following. On Instagram and working on YouTube and everything like that. Was that ever something you were interested in or kind of in the cards for you, or was that something that was a little more happenstance?
It was never anything that I expected would be my career path. It was a bet at first.
Wow.
One of my friends, he had kind of done the social media world. He had managed his brother's page, who's a MLB player. And he told me that I should start posting every day, and that's something that girls do in the golf world to try and get sponsors. And he's like, yeah, I know that you're going to be going pro, so maybe that's a good way to find some other sponsors along the way. And I did not think anybody would ever want to watch my golf swing or watch my golf journey. I'm like, why would anybody want to watch that? So we made a bet that I had to post every single day. I had to hashtag all these hashtags and follow all these rules. And by the end of 2 weeks, I would have 200 new followers. And long story short, I lost the bet. I had 200 new followers in like 2 days, and then I had 1,000 new followers by the end of the 2 weeks.
Dang.
So it was definitely it was a weird way into that career, and then ever since it's just kind of kept going.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, that's good for you. You seem to enjoy it too, which is great, and you're obviously doing well with it. And we've talked kind of at length, we've had Garrett and Micah and Matt and a lot of the guys from Good here. And, and talking with Bryce, we touched on some of those things too. And, I've got to give, everybody who gets into that space, no matter how big or small, their credit, because really the hardest thing I think is if you're doing videos, pressing that record button. If you're doing, social media, it's pressing post, right? It's taking that first step. And, Gary Vaynerchuk said something interesting about that too, that just because we might not think our life is that interesting, there is someone else out there who's just as passionate as whatever it is you might be doing or something like that. And so I think that's one of the coolest things to see coming with this new kind of age and technology is that people are really connecting in so many ways over so many things that you never would have thought, right? You only had sports, you had business, you had school, you had the couple basic things. But now people's lives really are kind of out there for better or for worse. And it seems to be bridging a lot of gaps.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's changing a little bit too. It's becoming more authentic, which is great,
Right,
which
right.
has always been something that I really value and have always wanted for my own page, to make it authentic and just to be real. It's I get asked all the time, do you manage your page? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course. Who else would manage
Right.
it? I post everything. So I can't imagine not doing that, but it's definitely authentic and yeah, it's a good journey. It's been fun.
Well, I'm one of your 320,000 followers on Instagram. I dig your stuff.
You're one of-
It makes me smile. Definitely.
Yeah, one of the dinosaurs following you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What are you going to do,
It is really awesome how the whole industry's changed, right? And we've been in the golf business a long time, and admittedly that the golf business as a whole has been the least amount of sophistication when it came to using any innovation or creativity. And so we got started to form relationships and with influencers like yourself, because at first me being the dinosaur was the one that actually was like, I don't get it, like whatever, just shut up and just go to work, right? But seeing though the impact that it's made is really cool, and it's not just with just recruiting more people to pay us to play golf, but it seems like you have a very good impact with young girls out there too, that to build their self-esteem, to get them to come out and play golf. And because we feel a real shift in the golf business about not just having the stereotypical old geeky white guy out there playing golf. We see a lot more diversity and inclusion now.
Yeah, that's definitely always been something that I have wanted for just my page in general. If I didn't really know the route I was going to go, I knew I wanted to include everybody in my journey, because I had just left college, and for me, it was so important to have a team and have people, around me that I was playing for, or trying to do it for not just me, but for the team. So that's where Team Hailey came from. And once I realized social media is going to be the route I'm going to try and pursue a little bit, the side hustle, which has now become the full-time hustle.
For sure.
I knew I wanted to make it about showing people the behind the scenes. So I think it's some of the best shows on TV are the things that you like watching, the award ceremonies, or hate to say it, but people like to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's one of the most popular shows that has gone on season after season, and it's because you get to see the behind the scenes of those celebrities' lives, or what their life is like. And so my goal was always to just show off what I'm doing behind the scenes of professional golf, what it looks like, the truth behind it, in a sense, and then to help inspire the next generation, and not just females, but the young boys that are wanting to play a sport too. And I think golf is such a good way to teach kids just how to act, and how to be respectful, how to respect the game, the course, your opponents, yourself.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to, I think, your wife earlier about that, and how it's so important for kids just to learn that. So I think golf is just such a great sport for everybody.
Yeah, and I wrote a word here down because it really stuck, and we've actually talked about it more, from our side of the coin, right, and being golf course operators and everything like that, the authenticity is huge, right? People, it's always been said, and people can believe it or not, but like, you can smell it when it's not real, right? You can see it. I mean, and to the same point, Keeping Up with the Kardashians is fully behind the scenes, and then you've got soap operas that are completely, almost overly cheesy, that have their own appeal. But when you get into social media and people's lives as their brands and things like that, it doesn't really stick the same way it used to. In terms of kind of being put on, or you get people labeled as sellouts and things like that. And where, I have to commend you and a lot of the other people we've met in this space, just seeing, you being so willing to spend time with the two juniors we played with, and talking to even other people at Dobson today who've recognized you, and you going out of their way and being eager and talking to them. And we've heard, similar things where they're shocked that it's the same interaction as they would have thought when they're watching, right? Because I think this starts with athletes and other stars on TV, that you hear all these stories about how I looked up to so-and-so for so long, and then had a chance to get an autograph and he shoved me out of the way. Yeah. Right. And it's just nothing ruins their day. So it is really cool to see you guys kind of bringing that authenticity.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably catch me on a bad day just like anybody else, but I hope that my bad day still is respectful and excited to, take a picture with somebody or just meet somebody. If they're that excited to meet me, I feel like I should be excited to meet them because I don't feel like I'm any different than they are. I mean, the young girl that came up to me today, she's a college player here at Mesa Community College. And to me, I'm like, well, I still feel like I'm in college. Like, that doesn't seem like that was that long ago. And I'm like, oh, gosh, that was kind of long ago, but not really. Yeah. But, I just don't see it as being any different. And I hope that never changes. But you're right. You can definitely smell the authenticity.
Or lack thereof. You can tell when someone's just putting on. Or,
you can tell. And a lot of people, it's unfortunate that it is so obvious when people are a sellout or, just taking every paycheck that they can get. But I'm really picky about the brands that I do choose to partner with. And of course, a lot of them reach out to me, but there's a whole system that I go through to decide if that's somebody I want to partner with. And then some of them are ones that I've reached out to that I want to partner with. Yeah. For example, I just, got the new truck. I have a deal with Lifted Trucks, and that was something I went and got myself. So a lot of people had said, oh yeah, sure, you wanted a F-150 that's lifted and huge. Like, no, I did. I actually did want that. I think it is important to try and keep it as authentic as possible.
Another misconception too is that it's really easy to do what you do. And, because we have people do it, and we're not trying to become content creators and stuff because, one, we're not that cool. We just want to share the story to hopefully encourage some kids to get in the golf business, and just have some laughs, right, and do it and meet great people like yourself. But the perception, though, that you can actually just do it and immediately you're going to wake up and have 350,000 followers, it's a grind, right? I mean, it's hard.
It is 100% a grind. And sometimes it feels weird to say that social media is hard to do, and it is hard to build your following, and it is work because, at the end of the day, I would not choose to work and do something else. I love the job that I have, but I'm starting to realize I don't know if every single person can do it. I think a lot of people can do it, and if you want to do it, you can learn how to do it. But I'm realizing it's not as easy as I thought. It's not like, oh, anyone can do it. Well, you can do it if you work hard and if you put you go and teach yourself how to do it. But, my boyfriend, he's a professional snowboarder, and he just cannot stand his social media. He's like, every time I post, I lose followers. And I'm like, well, you have to do this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this. And he's like, oh, this is so hard. I'm like, I guess it is.
Well, there's a difference between people able to do it and people to be good at it, right? Mm-hmm. You got good at it, and I don't know exactly if there's an exact recipe. Maybe it is the authenticity. Maybe it is understanding your customers, or your followers and everything like that. But it's not like a lot of jobs where you get a roadmap and a training manual to say, this is how you're going to be really kill it at this, right? Because I think that process is different for everybody, depending on your message and your brand or whatever it is.
And I think some people have an eye for, what looks good, what photo looks good, and some people don't. And so I think that is one spot where maybe you could be really good at it naturally, and it might be easier to learn, where it might be hard for you to learn because you don't see what photo looks good or whatever. Right. But I think that anybody can learn how to do it is a good way of putting it. You can learn how to do it, and if you work hard, you can probably do it. But it's not going to just be easy for every single person.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even what you said right there, right? Because I definitely don't have an eye for things like photos that look good. I would just like snap it and post it and be done, right? Because I want it to be over. A day. But, and in Team Hailey and in building those kinds of communities, it almost gives you a little grace because showing up and doing it is the first step. And then having the community and your captions and the posts, right? And I had never considered it, but seeing the way that people have almost kind of transformed Instagram, and now they have these huge captions that are long and they're almost like mini blog posts, but it almost at that point goes beyond what the reel or what the actual still photo is, but it's the message that's coming across. And so just to see kind of the evolution of all those things, like you said, right? It brings a whole new skill. Someone that has better writing skills can outsource, hey, I'm going to have you touch up my photos. I'm going to, do a photo shoot. they'll get that stuff, and then they can control it and kind of manage their own by being the one that types the words, or vice versa, and surrounding yourself with a team and treating it, like you said, like work. It brings a kind of different perspective versus I'm going to snap a bunch of pics. People are going to love it if they're going to follow it. And, you know, because they saw one that they like, they'll like them all, right?
Yeah.
And you're definitely going to have punches that don't land, and you just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and like you said, you know, some people are posting the long blog-ish captions, and that's a good example where, that is kind of a new transition into different kinds of social media, and that's working for some people. But for me in particular, that's just not me.
Totally.
You know, although I love writing, I have a degree in journalism, I could do it. It's not me and my personality. And I feel like the people that are on my page, I almost, like, not to sound cliche, but I feel like I kind of know some of them, you know, a little bit. And I know what they like, and we like the same things. I'm not just like, you know, let's just throw out this long caption so you know what I'm doing. Sometimes that's needed, but other times I'm just...
Well, it's to talk about it, like you said earlier, it'd be like turning on the Kardashians and you get American Idol instead. Yeah. It's not what you expected.
Yeah.
You know, part of the, I don't call it the downside, you know, of doing and putting your life out there is criticism, right? And, you know, we talked about Garrett and the good guys and stuff too. And, you know, there's certain people that can deal with that better. And that, did you have to learn to deal with it, or how do you do it? And, you know, I'm sure there's not a lot of it because you're cool and you have a great following, but I'm sure you get it, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. I definitely feel like I have been somebody who has kind of dealt with that. I don't want to say my whole life, but, you know, I was somebody in high school who didn't have a whole lot of girlfriends. Girls didn't really like me that much. And, you know, so whatever. Yeah. So I kind of just have always had thicker skin and just accepted, like, well, you know, not everyone's going to like me, and tough. Like, I don't really care. But there are times where there's probably certain things that people could say to get under my skin a little bit more, but I just am not, you know, my mom, she'll text me and be like, I don't know how you do this. I don't know how, because she'll see a comment on my page about me. But to her, it's like, it's her daughter. So that guy called you a 4 out of 10. I can't believe that. You are a 10 out of 10. Like, and she gets mad. And I'm like, that out of all the things somebody could comment, that's what you really got worked up over.
Stupid.
Yeah, but I think it's just kind of always been my personality, though, is like kind of like the tough, like little.
Yeah. I love how you handled the one. It was a few weeks ago. You took a divot and like replaced the grass, or you didn't, and then you had to post the next day and, you know, shoot back. But I mean, I think
that's
it all
my
goes
personality.
Back, it goes back to the authenticity, right? It gave you basically a free opportunity to make a new piece of content. You got to see your community talk about it and come to your, you know, not that you needed saving, but come to your aid, and, you know, it sparked a dialogue. And now I learned more. I operate a golf course, and I didn't even know that about agronomy. That some grasses you pour sand and seeds, some you replace, some you let them grow. Right?
Well, just for the record, too, probably not with Drew, but for Mikey and I, a 4 out of 10, we'll take it, man.
Yeah.
That's a compliment to us.
That's funny.
Do you respond to any of it, or do you just?
I try not to, but sometimes. So I, like you use the divot example. If it's something where I can think, oh, this is kind of funny, I'll respond, but to me, it's if I can make a joke out of it. Because I just think that that's more fun, and I'm usually having fun with it. But I really try not to respond.
You gotta sometimes avoid feeding the trolls, right?
Yeah, but it's like, sometimes when people say something, and I'm like, okay, if you don't want to like me, that's fine, but your information's totally wrong. And if that's the reason you don't like me, you might actually like me if you knew that that's not true. But it doesn't matter. They're going to find a reason not to like you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that just, you know, we call them the golf geek, the traditionalists, you know, because our properties, we have the music cranking, we have handout outer pops on the golf course, Bluetooth speakers. You know, they wanted to go back to the old way, and they're these critics and things like that. So, you know, we just compassionately listen and make them understand that, you know, we are who we are. You know what I mean? If you're coming here, what's the saying? For a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
So so you're at this phase in your life now, and you're having great success. Where do you see the future? Do you still have the goal, the dream to play golf professionally?
I would say that currently my goals and dreams have totally shifted. Not totally. I mean, my goals and dreams are still in the golf world, but lately I have so much fun doing the social media. I have so much fun traveling. I'm having fun going out and playing fun golf. I don't remember the last time prior to this decision, like when I had gone out and just played a fun round of golf and had a couple Michelob Ultras, you know, I never drank on the course, and it was always practice. So it's been fun lately to do this, but the professional golf journey has always been about more open doors, opening more doors along the way. And I didn't know if professional golf was going to be the final goal, but at that moment, that's what I wanted to do, and that's what made me happy. And so I was going to work hard at that. And then I knew that some doors were going to open along the way, and they did. And now I'm having fun doing this. So I'm going to work hard at this, and whatever I end up doing, I'll give 110% and keep at it. But
well, it's really cool too. And when you opened up and you shared the story about your father, bringing you to the game, and and all the commitment in that too. And that's part of the reason we started the foundation here for the kids too, because I shared it before with Bryce too, but I'll share it again just for some humor. Is that Mikey and I actually probably have the least amount of credentials, skills, talents of anybody on earth, but our father sacrificed us to get us into golf.
Just in general.
Yeah, in general. Yeah, we really had nothing going for us, but our father kept on, bringing us to the golf course, and he made a lot of sacrifices, and we never made anything up playing, but it led us to this point now where we've been able to really have a really neat opportunity in golf. And it sounds like your father and mother kind of made that same commitment too, and and that's part of the reason that, opening up doors, and that's why what you do, and Bryce and the Good and all the people in that space, it's really neat because you are bringing new and traditionally not what you'd think golfers to the game. Because even if they don't make it a career playing, there's still so much more opportunity just to do it. There's so many different venues. I mean, 10 years ago, if they would say that, you'd be sitting here with the career you're in and Bryce and Good, I would say you're crazy. I said, what is that crap anyway? You know what I mean? But it's real and it's awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've always heard the saying that golf is such a good sport for women because a lot of business is done on the golf course. And, in the past, there's not that many female golfers. So the men in the office will go to the golf course and they'll get business done on the golf course together. And so it's hard for the woman to excel at work, whatever.
Yeah.
So I've always said that it's such a great thing for women to just learn how to do. You don't have to be that good. You just have to go out there and try, and guarantee most of the guys that you're around are going to be so impressed. They're not going to care what you're doing. But just in general, I mean, we do have, as females, we do have some benefits to being in a male-dominated sport. Social media is one of them for me. I think it was probably a lot easier for me to get where I am with social media in the golf world than maybe a guy posting the same stuff that I was posting, because it's guy followers. And I think most men probably want to watch me hit a golf ball than they would want to watch some random dude hit a golf ball.
You could say us. Yeah, no doubt. No offense taken.
Cool.
But I mean, and even that, right? The awareness of that kind of stuff, super important. And to touch on your point too, right? You don't even have to be that good of it. My fiance, who's been on this before, she worked here before she went back to nursing school. And it was a funny story because she worked in the restaurant predominantly, and one day finally went on the beverage cart. And she had met all these people who play here 3-4 times a week, all this stuff, right? Everybody is great when they're in the bar. And she's like, oh my God. I watched these people who I thought were just like on TV, and they topped it and they hit it in the water. She's like, I could go play golf with them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so it's funny to hear, golf in itself, right, has been exclusive. It's got all these things, but really golf as a sport is intimidating, right? You only see on TV the greatest of the great. You don't even realize that being good at golf means having good recovery shots. They almost never hit it where they truly wanted to go. And so just to be bad at something for so long, just like baseball is a game of failure, I would argue golf definitely is too. And, just to get people over that hurdle, like, dude, being good, not the point.
Yeah.
Get out there, stretch your
Yeah.
legs, have some fun, do something else, and, make a new friend. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Cool.
Golf's like something else in life. You don't have to be good at it to enjoy it, Let it rip.
Yeah, fill in the blanks, right? Yeah. Cool. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and ask Hailey a few last cool questions, actually. I'm very much looking forward to your answers on this, but we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, welcome back, and make sure before we let you go today to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell so you know when all these new episodes are coming out. So we're going to wrap this up here. Hailey, you've been a great guest. We have a couple. We're going to bring one back all the way from the first episode. The first thing we're going to ask you is we've got a few people in mind, and we call it the 7-Eleven game. But the gist of it is we're going to take someone who is successful, probably has a really attractive wife, and we're going to say if the peak of their career was 7-Eleven, Slurpee stain and all, and you walked in behind the counter, do we think that they could still land the person they're with or any other, good-looking person or successful person? So,
And they were never famous. It's not that person.
yeah.
Based on
It's
looks,
not like they
right?
regressed.
Yeah.
It's if this was the route they took out of high school.
All right. The first one I want to know about is Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be just fine.
Think so?
Okay.
Yeah, Ricky. Yeah.
Are you
Ricky's
thinking Ricky
cute.
long hair or short hair?
Yeah.
Either one.
Mustache.
Honestly, like long hair, like he's working at a 7-Eleven. Like he's your just typical just skater dude type of
There you
guy.
go.
Like maybe he works at a 7-Eleven on the beach type, Like,
I like your
yeah,
passion
he's
on
totally
that.
fine.
But he's only like 5'5", so you
That's
might not.
okay.
It's
That's
okay.
okay.
Yeah, good. So
I
that's a
like how
yes.
she took the 7-Eleven and made the 7-Eleven prettier by putting it on
Yeah,
the beach.
exactly.
Yeah, it's
We're
gonna
not-
be
we're not
great.
okay, I like it. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
good.
I'm going to go ahead and ask. I'm going to go with Kepka.
No,
Yeah.
he's
out.
he's out. He's out as Kepka anyway.
There you
He's
go.
out.
All right.
All right, but I got to say, what about DeChambeau then?
He's out.
Both
Sorry.
Not too.
They're
Both
too much
out.
to handle. Both of them are.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Mikey, who do you got for it?
Drama.
For the 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
I was sorry.
Yeah, so Mikey, if he's working at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, does Mikey have a shot?
All right. Okay, let's go Post Malone.
I knew, for some reason, I knew you were gonna say Posty.
Yeah,
Like I
always.
knew you were gonna say
Yeah.
Posty.
I'm pretty sure he was in a commercial where he was in one.
Yeah.
I know that at the end of the day, he already looks like he's working at like a gas station
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. But I just can't look past the fact that he is Posty. Like, I love him, but
Yeah.
no,
He's out?
he would be out.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. The only way I thought it would ever happen is if they wanted to get back at their parents. Yeah, bring them home for
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the 7-Eleven
Yeah.
outfit on.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, so let's go to the Dream Foursome, right?
Yep. So we've asked everybody on the show this, and we know that it's a fairly frequently asked question, and we're gonna go with Dream Foursome. You don't have to tell us where you're gonna play, but it includes you and 3 others.
Dead
Who do you
or
got?
alive.
I was just gonna say dead or
Yep,
alive.
dead or alive, anything's fair
Okay,
game.
so pretty much every time I do the Dream Foursome, I say me, obviously,
Yeah.
and my dad. So I'm going to include my dad
That's
because
cool.
There you go.
he taught me the game,
He
so
made the cut.
he gets to play with the Dream Foursome also. And then I would probably say Arnold Palmer, and we'll go Phil. I feel like I alternate every single time, Phil or Tiger. Like,
That's cool.
There you go.
Yeah,
but
that
I
is
think
cool.
Phil
Hey.
would just be so fun.
Yeah.
I like it. Lefties
Yeah.
got to stick together.
Yeah, no doubt. That is cool too. Yeah, and then actually, we're gonna film the match was filmed this morning, right? You played with a couple of the juniors too. Do you see either one of those two playing on the tour someday?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I don't know when this is coming out, but they did show me a few things. Like,
Yeah.
they definitely know what they're doing, and I will not be surprised if either one of them is playing on tour.
Okay.
It seems like they're so respectful too. Like they definitely have a respect for the game as well, and it seems like they work really hard, and I'm really excited to see where they end up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So maybe 10 years from now, maybe Natalia will be in your Dream Foursome.
Maybe she will.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you so much for joining us today,
Thank you.
Hailey. Everything's been fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we hope we made you smile. And let us know below who you'd like to see us invite out to Dobson to our brand new studio next.
Absolutely. Hope we made you smile.
From the T to the green and the P to the B. Skip the plumb bob, drop the plumb bob, lose the plumb bob. Who needs a plumb bob? From the T to the green and the P to the B.